Let me ask you something honest. How many times have you told yourself you were going to start investing, start that YouTube channel, start learning AI, start building that second income stream, and then didn't? Not because you lacked the information, not because the opportunity wasn't there, but because something inside you said, not yet, you're not ready. Someone else can do that, not you. That voice, that's your limitation talking. And here's what I've come to understand. After going deep on this topic, growth only manifests into fruition once you've superseded your inner personal best limitations. Read that again. Growth doesn't come when circumstances change. Growth doesn't come when the economy gets better, or when you have more time, or when your kids are older, or when you finally feel confident enough. Growth comes only after you push past the ceiling you've unconsciously built inside yourself. Today we're going to talk about what that actually means, why it's especially true when it comes to building wealth and leveraging AI in your life, and most importantly, what you can do right now to start breaking through. Stay with me. This one's going to hit different. Before we can supersede anything, we have to name it. What exactly is a personal best limitation? It's not your actual ceiling. That's the key misunderstanding most people carry their entire lives. Your personal best limitation is the ceiling you believe exists based on your past experiences, your upbringing, what people told you, what you've tried before and failed at, and the identity you've built around all of that. Psychologists call this a self-concept, the mental model you hold of who you are and what you're capable of. And here's the brutal truth. Your self-concept was largely formed before you were even old enough to critically evaluate it. Think about it. By the time you were 10 years old, you had already absorbed messages about money. Maybe your household said, "We can't afford that." Maybe you heard rich people are greedy. Maybe nobody in your family ever invested a dollar. So the idea of building wealth never even registered as something available to you personally. Those messages didn't just pass through you. They became architecture. They became the invisible structure that your adult decisions are built on top of. And this is where finance and AI become deeply personal, because both of these fields require you to believe, on some level, that you are someone who can understand complex things, build systems, and create value from knowledge. If your inner architecture says, "That's not for someone like me," you will self-sabotage every single time, not consciously, subtly. You'll procrastinate. You'll research endlessly without acting. You'll start and stop. You'll compare yourself to people further along and use their progress as evidence that you're behind and therefore shouldn't bother. All of that is the limitation in action. So the first step is radical self-honesty. Ask yourself right now, what do I actually believe about my ability to create financial freedom? What do I believe about my ability to learn and use AI? Not what you hope is true, what you believe in your gut. Write it down if you have to, because you can't supersede something you haven't clearly identified. Now, I want to zoom in on two specific words in that quote, personal best. Not someone else's best, not the industry standard, not what some guru on the internet says you should be doing. Your personal best. This is important because one of the biggest ways people stay stuck is by measuring themselves against external benchmarks that have nothing to do with where they're actually starting from. You see someone on YouTube making $20,000 a month from their finance channel, and you think, "I should be doing that." But that person has been at it for 4 years, has a team, has already failed 200 times, and has skills they built through years of iteration. Comparing your chapter 1 to their chapter 20 is a recipe for quitting. Your personal best limitation is specific to you. It's the gap between what you're currently doing and what you're actually capable of doing, given your current resources, time, knowledge, and starting point. And here's what makes this concept so powerful in the context of finance and AI specifically. In finance, the single biggest predictor of long-term wealth building isn't income. Research consistently shows its behavior. Specifically, the behavior of consistently investing even small amounts over long periods of time. The limitation most people have isn't that they don't earn enough. It's that they don't behave in alignment with wealth-building principles because their inner beliefs about money override their intention. In AI, the limitation most people face isn't intelligence. The tools available today are extraordinarily accessible. You don't need to code. You don't need a computer science degree. The limitation is the belief that this technology is too complicated for me, or "I'm too old to learn this," or "I'll figure it out later." That belief keeps people on the sidelines, while others are using AI to cut their work time in half, generate content, build businesses, and create leverage in their careers. So when we talk about superseding your personal best limitations, we're talking about identifying the specific belief behavior, or mental block that is uniquely yours and uniquely in your way. Not anyone else's obstacle, yours. Let's talk about what it actually feels like to supersede a limitation, because people imagine it as this dramatic, triumphant moment, a montage, Rocky running up the steps. In reality, it's quiet and it's uncomfortable, and it usually doesn't feel like victory in the moment. It feels like doing something you really don't want to do. The moment of superseding looks like this. You've been telling yourself for 6 months that you're going to open an investment account. Today, you sit down, you feel the resistance, I don't know enough yet, I need to research more. What if I lose money? And you open the account anyway, with $50. That's it. That's superseding a limitation. You've been wanting to start your YouTube channel in the finance and AI space. You've outlined videos in your head for months. You film one. It's not perfect. You post it anyway. That's superseding a limitation. You've never used an AI tool before. You open Claude or ChatGPT. You type your first prompt. You feel slightly ridiculous. You do it anyway. That's superseding a limitation. The act itself is rarely the hard part. The hard part is moving through the internal resistance that precedes the act. And that resistance is your limitation fighting to survive, because limitations, like any deeply held belief, have a kind of self-preservation instinct. They generate fear, doubt, and procrastination, specifically to keep you from testing them. Here's what I want you to understand about growth. It is not linear and it is not comfortable. Every person you admire who has built wealth, built an audience, built a business, they superseded their limitations in unglamorous, private, uncomfortable moments that nobody saw. And each time they did, their ceiling rose. Not dramatically, slightly, but consistently over time. Those slight rises compound just like interest compounds in an investment account. The neuroscience actually supports this. Every time you take action that contradicts a limiting belief, you create new neural pathways. You literally rewire your brain. The more you repeat that action, the stronger those pathways become, and the weaker the limiting belief gets. This isn't metaphor. This is how the brain physically changes through experience. Growth isn't something that happens to you. It's something that happens because of you, specifically because of your willingness to act against your own resistance. Okay, let's get concrete. Because this isn't just a motivational speech, I want to give you actual application. In personal finance, the most common limitations I see are: I don't have enough money to start investing. Supersede it. Open a brokerage account with whatever you have. Fidelity and Schwab have zero minimums. Invest $25. The amount is irrelevant at this stage. The behavior is everything. I need to understand everything before I start. Supersede it. You don't. Index funds exist specifically for people who don't want to pick stocks. A simple 3-fund portfolio, total US market, total international. Bonds has outperformed the majority of professional fund managers over 2 0-year periods. You don't need expertise. You need to start. I'll get serious about money when I earn more. Supersede it. The habit of managing money well scales with income. People who don't manage $40,000 well don't suddenly manage $100,000 well. The behavior has to come first. In AI is too technical for me. Supersede it. Start with one tool, just one. Pick ChatGPT or Claude. Spend 20 minutes asking it questions about something you're already interested in. Feel how it responds. That's your entry point. AI is going to replace me, so why bother learning it? Supersede it. The people most at risk from AI are people who refuse to learn it. The people least at risk are those who learn to use it as leverage. AI doesn't replace people, it replaces tasks. Learn which tasks it can handle so you can focus on what humans do best. I don't have time to learn new technology. Supersede it. You don't need to learn it all at once. Pick one use case relevant to your life. Writing emails, researching topics, scripting videos, budgeting, and use AI for just that one thing for 30 days. That's the entry point. For your YouTube journey specifically, the limitation most new creators face isn't equipment or knowledge. It's the fear of being seen before they're ready. But here's what experience in this space teaches: your audience doesn't want perfect. They want real. They want to watch someone figure it out. The most powerful thing you can do is document your actual journey, learning about AI, applying it to your finances, building income streams in real time. Your limitation right now might be, I'm not an expert, so who am I to teach? Supersede it by reframing. You're not teaching from the top of the mountain, you're reporting from the trail. And people who are still at the bottom of the mountain need to hear from someone 1 mile ahead, not someone at the summit who forgot what the beginning felt like. I want to leave you with this. Every limitation you supersede makes the next one easier. Not because life gets less challenging, but because your identity shifts. Every time you act beyond your previous ceiling, you collect evidence that you are someone who does hard things, someone who grows, someone who figures it out. And identity is everything, because you will always act in alignment with who you believe you are. The goal isn't just to make more money or learn AI or build a YouTube channel. The goal is to become someone for whom those things are natural outcomes of who they are. That transformation begins with one decision, one moment where you feel the resistance, acknowledge it, and move through it anyway. Growth doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't wait for more confidence, more time, more money, more knowledge. It waits for one thing, only for you to supersede the version of yourself that's been holding you back. And that version? It was never the real you anyway. If this resonated with you, I want to know, drop in the comments. What is one limitation you're committing to supersede this week? It doesn't matter how small. Name it. Make it real. If you're new here, this channel is dedicated to helping you build real financial knowledge, leverage AI tools practically, and create income streams that give you options in life. Subscribe.